So another little option for us today for Superhero Week. Obviously it's not going to shoot up, but I am going to attempt to turn my hand into a Spider-Man hand. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll get right into the video. Right, so the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take a bit of water and start to make a paste with the red face paint. And then I'm just going to start painting the hands red. And this is going to be a slow process. And you want to make sure you get right in between the fingers. So it looks a little bit like a glove. And around the nails. I'm just going to keep repeating this on all the fingers. And you don't want this too runny because otherwise it's going to look a little bit too opaque and look more pink than it is red. And just keep going over. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. Mix that into the paint. And making sure to coat both sides of the brush. Just to add a little bit of speed. You just remember to keep your hand in the camera. And we're nearly there. Again, don't forget to go along the side of the fingers, in between the fingers. Start bringing it up towards your wrist. And you want to bend your fingers to make sure you're getting into them knuckles. Because no one's meant to know that this is not a real hand. And again, going up and around. Add a little bit more water. Keep making a little bit of a paste. Now onto the thumb. So the red bit is the boring bit. In a minute we'll start adding the little spider webs to it. And cover up the thumb. And then we're going to take it up the wrist. Just above where this little bone is. We're going to make a little straight line going across so it looks like a glove. I'm just going to fill in all the sides. Just like so. Until you've got a little something like this. So what we're going to do is going to let this dry for about a minute. Just so we can go over it with the black. And then we'll start with the web. Just turned it round so we can see what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the brush, start to make a black paste, flatten the brush as thin as possible. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start off by making the long lines down the full length of the hand. I'm going to do one going all the way down from the wrist down to the end of the finger. I'm going to bend my knuckle a little bit to make it a bit easier. And go all the way down. Just like so, and we can darken up later. These are just the guidelines. I'm going to take a bit more black. And then I'm going to do one straight from the wrist again, down the middle finger. And they don't have to be neat. Sorry about my awkward angles. And then I'm going to do another one down the ring finger. And a bit more black paint. And we're going to go down the side of the wrist. And down our pinky. And then we'll do the final one just on the side of our thumb. Here. Just like so. Cool. Now, I'm going to take a bit more water, make a bit more of a paste. And again, you don't want it too watery, otherwise it will end up running. So brush as thin as possible again. So we're going to go here and start making little semicircles like this across. Making little semicircles and making sure they join up across the hands over all the lines. Like so. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way down. Don't worry about the side parts of the hand yet. We'll fix them at the end. And then take a bit more black. Keeping the brush nice and thin. And we're going to keep. And don't worry about them being equal. We just want to keep the theme of the spider web going. See where we're going with this. And we're going to do nice big ones. Keep your finger and thumb together so that you can make them line up. And then at the end I'm just going to do little lines. And keep going. Semicircles all the way down. Like so. You see the pattern we're getting now. Keep your fingers together nice and closed and we can join up the semicircles, and remember to twist your brush when making the lines just so they don't go too thick, because obviously you want this more red than black. I'm going over the two fingers and then up the tips like so, and then what we're going to do is just do little flicks down the sides of the hands so it looks a little bit more like a glove, and fades it off like so. So once you've got our hands looking like this, we're going to do the blue band going around the side of the wrist. So I'm going to go in with a bit of water and the darker blue colour. I'm just going to mix that up until we get a little paste. Make sure to coat both sides so we've got enough blue paint on. And then we're just going to paint a nice blue border just around the wrist. And this will lighten up a little bit later, and you can make this as thick as you want. But I think adding the blue just makes it feel more Spiderman like. So just layering that up, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the light blue on the brush, just like there. I've not used any water, this is just to brighten it up a little bit so it doesn't look more black than blue. You want to make sure we know it looks blue. As well, make sure you're using like the flat side of the brush just to make it easier to get a distinct wristband. And there we go. We've got a Spiderman hands. I wouldn't advise doing the bottom because you will get red everywhere. But here is our little superhero hands. And I can't wait to see all your recreations. And hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye!